By the end of this video, you'll know how to convince leaders, directors, management of your organization to use agility, to use the Scrum framework. Most of you watching fall into two main categories. Either you're already using the Scrum framework, but are struggling to get the buy-in of management. And second, your company is still stuck in the industrial age and would like to implement agility, implement the Scrum framework. If you fall into both of these groups, keep on watching. The strategies we'll talk about in this video will help you get the buy-in, convince management in your organization to use the Scrum framework. Let's start with something that you should not do. And I see many Scrum Masters, Agile coaches, even consulting companies use this strategy. It simply does not work. It doesn't work. You shouldn't do that. You shouldn't start with the developers in mind. You shouldn't start with Scrum. Agility creates a healthy working environment, improves motivation of the developers, makes them more driven, working towards a single team goal together, reduces distractions, set barriers between stakeholders and developers so that the developers can actually code, actually work. All these things, great benefits. But usually, when you try to convince someone of something, the person will usually tell you, that's pretty good. Where's the catch? And that's the problem. When you start with healthy environment for the developers, work-life balance, the automatic response will be, there will be an impact on productivity, efficiency. There has to be. We're talking about people working less here. And that's a hard sell. If you start with that, if you start with telling them that all the benefits will result in a decrease in productivity and efficiency, that's a problem. It's really hard to convince someone of something when the something goes against one of the core principles and values of this person. Management loves productivity and efficiency, ensuring that people are working 24/7. They love that. They might tell you that they don't, but that's always in their mind. Producing more and cutting costs. Instead, talk about the main purpose of a Scrum framework, building the shippable increment of a product. At least one every single sprint. Yeah, that's the big benefit of a Scrum framework. Literally releasing to your customers every single sprint. Considering most sprints are 2 weeks, that's pretty impressive. Output, delivery, releasing early to customers every single sprint. Management love that. And value, focus on value, more satisfied customers because you're releasing earlier, you're releasing more frequently. You're getting feedback more frequently, which will help you produce more quality products and as a result, more satisfied customers. But remember, don't fall in the trap of output against value. When you sell that this way, releasing every single sprint, it gives the impression that we are releasing sooner. You're cutting delivery dates, cutting costs. Now, that's something else. Our focus is value. So ask management first. We need to know what they are striving for. Do they want satisfied customers or do they want delivery, output, quantity versus quality? Get that clear. They need to clearly tell you, we want value. We want satisfied customers, because if they tell you they want to cut costs and fast delivery, that's something else. You need to convince them that cutting costs and faster delivery doesn't translate to satisfied customers. Convince them of that first. Forget about agility, forget about Scrum. First, convince them that quantity, cutting costs, that's not the goal here. The goal should be satisfying customers. And once they understand that the real goal is satisfied customers, returning customers that will translate into more profits, then you can introduce something that will help them go there. Scrum and agility. Start with that first. Most people don't do that. They start with implementing agility and Scrum. And the way they sell it is increase output, delivering faster, which is totally wrong. Scrum agility is all about effectiveness, building the right things, satisfying customers. Totally different goal. The other thing you need to talk about is cost. Remember, management want delivery, fast delivery and cutting costs. For them, in their mind, that's more profits. And you need to talk about costs. They believe, most people in management believe that agility, Scrum, will come at a higher cost. It's more expensive to work in this way. And one of the reasons, basic reasons, most common one is self-management, self-organized teams. Teams with no clear directions, going with the flow, going to satisfy their customers, no managers telling them what to do. So in their mind, no clear directions, no productivity, no efficiency, more costs. As simple as that. So you should try to convince them with costs. Use costs. Show them that they are currently wasting money. Show them how many projects are failing because they are stuck in the industrial age, still using the waterfall model. Middle managers, line managers, telling people what to do. Unsatisfied customers, how much profits are all these things costing the company? I'm sure you can find out. An easy one to use here is how many products, features have failed for the organization. We failed when we put it to the market. Customers didn't care about these products and features. How many years, months have developers been working on these features and products? And then once we finally put that big bang approach to the market, the product to the market, customers didn't care. This doesn't exist in agility because we are releasing frequently, early to get feedback. If something doesn't match the customer's need, we'll know that very early on. We don't need to wait 6 months, years of development to know that. No, releasing early, get feedback early from customers. And if something does not work, a failure, because we can't always be right, we'll know straight away and we can focus on something else. That's the beauty of agility. That's the beauty of a Scrum framework. And the second one is meetings. How much time is wasted in meetings? Scrum clearly reduces the number of meetings. No meeting with stakeholders. No need to meet them. We meet them once a sprint in the sprint review. Everyone comes in the sprint review and we talk about our roadmap, how the sprint went, and show what we delivered every single sprint with everyone in the room. Single meeting. Daily scrums. Instead of doing multiple meetings every day, 15 minutes, we craft our plan for the day and we start improving. And talking about improvement, sprint retrospectives, continuous improvement forced on the teams every single sprint, guaranteed improvement every single sprint. You can use these two topics to introduce agility and Scrum in the mind of your leaders and then ask multiple questions. Tell them, honestly, do you believe that we should keep investing into these big projects that are failing often, compared to releasing early, getting feedback from customers? Do you believe that turnover for the developers is good, for your employees is good, burnout is good? Obviously not. That's why we need to build a healthy environment, an environment where they want to come and work. And what about decisions? When you're still stuck in the industrial age, most decisions need to go through your manager. The team can decide by themselves. A manager, someone who doesn't know the customer, who has no idea what we are doing in the trenches day to day. They need to be making the decisions, or they need to be aware of these decisions and approve these decisions. Let the team be self-managed. Quicker, faster decisions. People actually doing the work, making the decisions. Everyone validating and challenging each other in the team. Everyone is able to give their input because they are the smart people. They are the people actually doing the work and they should be the people making the decisions. When having these conversations with management, this back and forth, trying to convince them that they need to go for agility or Scrum, there's a few things that you need to agree at the end of a discussion. And you shouldn't be applying or implementing agility or Scrum if these are not checked out. First, full unconditional buy-in from your management, your leaders. They need to be convinced that agility is the right way, and they need to be convinced that this way of working will benefit the company. At least they need to be convinced that we need to experiment with it. We need to try if indeed it's the right way, and we need their full support to try it. It will be hard getting their full support. That's why you need to work on convincing them first. You can't just apply agility and Scrum without the buy-in of management. That clearly doesn't work, and that's most probably why it's not working in your organization. Second, self-management. We need to let the team decide. That's a hard sell for people in management, the leaders, telling them that the managers won't be making the decisions, but the team will be making the decisions. That's a hard sell. The team will be deciding the roadmap, what to work on, doing the planning, quarterly planning, yearly planning. We are the manager telling them what to do. We are the leaders telling them what to do. That's a hard sell. Next is value, prioritizing satisfied customers. That's an easy sell, right? Who wouldn't want satisfied customers? Equals more profits, right? More sales. But no, when satisfied customers might mean release delivery date. We're taking more time to release. We are still releasing early, but in the end, maybe when starting to implement agility and the Scrum framework, the team is less efficient. Going slower, more effective, yeah, but less efficient. When you tell that to management, do they tell you, go ahead? Or do they tell you, I prefer efficiency compared to satisfied customers? Convince them first. You need their full support and buy-in. They need to understand when implementing agility and Scrum, the team will go slower, and they need to be okay with that. Again, we are experimenting. And talking about experiments, improvement, they need to understand that we shouldn't be always focusing on delivery. We should take a step back, reflect, and start improving our processes, how we work together, what we are building. And this improvement takes capacity, time, and we might also slow down because of that. But in the long run, we will beat the competitors who are not doing that. Which brings me to my next point. If you want more tips, insights on Agile, Scrum, personal growth, click on the video that stands out the most on the screen right now. And I'll see you in a few seconds.